science is probably the basis for everything here at the Potato Expo. Farmers want to know more, processors, everybody is really coupled together with learning as much as they can about soil, about water, about crop yield, because frankly, every time you and I go into the supermarket, we want to make sure that we got the best looking, best tasting potato that's out there. Kelly Luff is with me. He's from Bayer CropScience. And Kelly, one of the things that I'm hearing a lot about, and I know you're a scientist, but help us understand, and as much layman terms as possible, this whole situation of nematodes. What are they? Why are they so important to this crop as well as other crops?
So thanks, Phil, for the opportunity. Actually, nematodes are microscopic worms that live in the soil. And we have actually several groups.
And that's naturally occurring.
And that's naturally occurring. Yep. They're pretty much ubiquitous. They're everywhere. Yep. Most growers will end up having to deal with them. And we typically have three groups that we talk about. We talk about the root lesion nematodes, and then the root knot nematodes, and then the stubby root nematodes. And all of them cause different damage. So if we look at the root lesion nematodes, they're endoparasitic nematodes, meaning that they live in the roots,
right,
and they cause lesions. Those lesions reduce the efficiency of the root system, but they also serve as an entry port for soil, different soil pathogens,
right,
in particular verticillium wilt, which causes potato early dying, reducing yield and quality in the potatoes.
So when you look at this, you can't just look at one trait. You really have to look at what that one trait could affect with other things, as you say, opening up the opportunity for other, whether it's bacteria or other viruses, to be able to get into that plant.
Yeah, and that's particularly the case with lesion nematode, which is involved with potato early dying. On the other hand, if you look at stubby root nematode, it vectors a virus, which causes the virus is called tobacco rattle virus, and it causes corky ring spot in the tuber. So you get necrotic arcs in the tuber that renders them unmarketable. Mm-hmm. And the big one really is the root knot nematodes, Columbia and northern root knot nematode, and they cause bumps on the outside of the tuber and also brown spots on the inside of the tuber. And there's a lot of biology behind that, but ultimately that's the bottom line. The tubers are rendered unmarketable.
So farming today, just from, I'm not sure if I'm using the right word or not, but from a disease standpoint, from a soil health standpoint, is more complicated than ever before?
I wouldn't say it was more complicated than ever before. It's always been there, but that interaction in potatoes is particularly strong. So yeah, there is a strong soil pathogen crop health interaction. Yeah.
So with everything that's going on with soil health, with climate change, do you have more challenges now than you might have had 10 or 20 years ago?
Yeah, so the challenge, I think, is probably the same that it has been, but perhaps we have better solutions, correct?
And maybe better technology to discover it?
And better technology to discover it as well. So, we are having new technology coming on the market to control both the nematodes and the disease spectrums.
So for the average potato farmer that's out there, how difficult is it for them to really identify that they've got a problem and call you up and say, help? Is it relatively easy, again, because of other technology, whether it's drone technology, whether it's photography, to find these areas, or is it still, walking the field and, having to pull it up and seeing what's going on?
Well, so certainly the technology, like with the drones and such, is getting much better, and it's being used more in the field. But still, a lot of the old technology is there. You need to get out and get soil samples for your nematodes right. And there are predictive models for like early blight and late blight that are used, but still, you have to walk the field. You have to know what's going on. You have to understand how your crop looks from a health perspective. And so sooner or later, maybe the human element will be replaced, but right now we're still relying on getting out there and looking at the crop.
So, as a scientist, when you look at where we are today versus where you hope we will be in 5 years or 10 years, whatever that time frame is, are we getting better? Or again, because of climate, because of all the changes that are taking place, is it going to become more challenging for the potato farmer?
Well, there's a lot of things that will end up making it more challenging, right? I mean, we have a world population that needs to be fed, and
so yield is going to become
to become even more important, and be able to supply that yield is important. And so we're coming up with new technologies that are increasing yields, that are increasing quality. A couple of the ones that we actually are coming up with include Vellum Prime, which the active ingredient is fluopyram, and it's an awesome piece of technology. It's been very fun to work with. You put it in furrow planting, you combine it with something like Admire, and at a low rate in furrow technology, you essentially are getting season-long control of foliar insects, you're getting nematode suppression, you're getting early season management of early blight and white mold, all from a low rate in furrow application. So from a sustainability perspective, that fits very well.
Yes.
Right, and also it's the mammalian toxicity is very low. So they carry a caution label rather than the old chemistries which had danger labels and warning labels, right?
Which is something, as stewards of the earth, farmers are looking for more of that and ever before, because also, whether it be a retailer or a consumer, they're coming back to them and say, we want to make sure that you're not ruining the planet and you're more sustainable and all that. So thank you so much, Kelly, for doing a great job in helping the potato farmers of America.
Thank you, Phil. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more right here, live at the Eye at the Potato Expo here in the Austin Convention Center.